It's getting hot out there in St. Joe, and now it's getting hot in that passing game. Who's stepping up with some guys out? Who's making the plays? That's all you need to know as we roll forward into another week of Chiefs camp. A lot of contact, a lot of developments. Who's standing out? We're going to get to it all tonight on the Breakdown on RGR Football. Welcome back, everybody. It's been an eventful weekend. Glad you made it. If you missed my Saturday practice review, go back and check that one out. I'll link it up here in the back at the tail of this video. This is Sunday Breakdown. We're getting ready. We're getting into our rhythm as we get into game time. Sunday Night Breakdown is going to be post-game action. I'll go live. We'll go through what happened, answer a few questions as we always do, and really get to the heart of what's going on each game. And we'll start in the preseason as we get warmed up. Tonight, obviously, is the last one before there's any game to talk about. So it's about what's going on in camp, how they're doing, who's stepping out, who's helping out. A lot of developments this last week as they got through the first week of pads, and now they're into the second element where it really starts to grind. And you see some of the patterns in practice shifting. We'll talk about that here coming up. Make sure if you're new to this channel that you like, sub, and hit the bell. Make sure that you become part of Rogue Nation. If you are a member and you are looking to play fantasy football this year, Aaron is running the RGR Leagues back in the Discord for members. All you have to do, if you are not a member yet, is hit the join button below, sign up at the rookie level and above, and you get access to the Discord, which is how you can reach out and let Aaron know that you're interested in playing fantasy football. Now, Aaron Morrow, as well as Liz Morrow, are in the house, and they are our fearless moderators, the family Morrow. Nice for all of them to be back. Hope you guys are doing well. Everybody say hi to the Morrows, and let's be nice tonight, everyone, especially you Raiders fans. We have a lot to go over. If you want to support the channel, ring up those super chats, and I'll make sure that I answer whatever you comment or ask tonight. But tomorrow night is really the big Q&A. We're going to talk ball tonight. From my perspective, and then we'll get into a few questions. It won't be super long on the question end, but a lot of small developments, big things, a little bit of rumor going on today as well, so we'll get to that too. You can support the channel also by grabbing gear in the RGR store and hitting up NFL 33. I'm going to drop a pod tomorrow on some of the more problematic things that the Chiefs were able to avoid in last year's draft and what it's done to a couple of organizations. One, including a guy who used to work in Kansas City and Ryan Poles of the Chicago Bears. A lot going on there about their evaluation process. That's at NFL33.com, our new Substack that is about the game from the evaluation standpoint. Not the X's and O's on the field, but who makes the decisions to put guys on rosters like Veach is doing now, because the rumor is that they've made another decision. Now, this is uncorroborated. I've had several people tweet at me that DeAndre Baker's been let go. I haven't had that confirmed at all by any source inside the organization or anybody in the AP. Now, I know a couple of folks said that there was a legit source, but I haven't seen one. So let's just wait till it's official. But we've been talking for the last week about how the cornerback position group is evolving and getting better, and it's heavily accented by the rookies. That's a good thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. You would have to, I think, that'd be a little premature cutting somebody right now. There's going to be plenty of cuts coming. But all those rookies also have an up and down to them, because they are new. It's how it's going down each and every day. It's not always consistent, and that's kind of the nature of being a rookie. So putting that on somebody now and making that decision is a little bit premature in my mind. And Longmorn, you got me thinking. I have tried to get that here, and I can't. I can get their single malt, which is decent, but I got to try the rye. So cheers to you and everybody else. Glad you guys are here. Yeah, I saw it, Doug. Got a little love there for Mike Burton. You guys have seen him here on this channel, and you saw him at the podium today. For those that are wondering, yes, Mike will be on this roster. When we talk running backs and how the numbers work out, Mike is not included that. He is the only fullback here. He will be on this roster, and he won't go away from it, I guarantee you. And Adam, you're talking about the same thing I am. But again, I haven't seen that confirmed by anyone on the Chiefs beat. I'm not sure where that started, but I haven't seen it yet. So if that is true, we'll get to that. Joe, it is almost football time. Now, the young rookies playing at the cornerback position, they're coming on. Trent McDuffie, a lot of folks just a week ago were still concerned. And now we're starting to see that not only is Trent McDuffie doing his thing, that really the only trouble that he's having is the trouble that we expected against super tall and super long-armed wide receivers like Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That is kind of his skill. Everybody has one that's his. So there is absolutely nothing that surprises me about that. That's not a detriment. That's not him not, powering through and being the player that he is. That's just the thing that he's going to have to overcome. Not a concern. The nice thing is that not only are the Chiefs recognizing how well he's playing and how well he's adapting to what they want. Steve Spagnuolo talked about press technique today, and that's something that he wasn't asked to do at Washington, hardly ever. And it changes the way you played not only the ball, but the man and the route. And that is really key for him. It's a process for him to kind of shift gears. And I think this will be an up and down season for McDuffie, but he certainly has shown me on film that he has the ability to make those adjustments. There's going to be a lot coming. It's just how quickly can he go and how can he bring along the rest of the rookie class? It was Josh Williams that had a collision, one that was honestly on him. It was misaligned. I think he caught Juju in the mask. Juju went down for a while. Juju came back like there's no lasting, lingering problems, as I understand. But that's still not a play that you want to make in camp. You're hurting your teammate. That's just a rookie mistake that you got to get out of your system and be more aware. Wasn't even covering him on the route. It was after the fact. I think he was just trying to poke the ball out, keep him honest and maintain possession. But you got to be careful the way that you go about it, you guys. It's just tough. So glad to see that. But Juju in particular is the guy that has stood out on the offensive side to me. Like, I knew that they had a decent connection, but it's been consistent. We haven't seen it fall off. We haven't seen it become iffy. Like Juju and Mahomes are on the page. We are good there. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Yes, if you would smack that button. I don't usually say smash, so I like to smack, Doug. That was a good one. Smack the like button, folks, if you don't know me or you haven't been on this channel or you don't know any of my crew. Dan, Gary, Big Chief Sean, Mo, Larry Curry. No, that's Gooch Keys and Aaron. Lots going on there. Subscribe to Back Talk Bros as well as Big Chief Sean, the other channels that our guys are putting out, so they can do their thing as well as doing our thing. So like that. So, and Cole just said that he checked the website and he's not listed. That is Baker. Interesting. So I don't know if they snuck that through, but it hasn't hit the wire yet. Tomorrow morning, I should have the transaction report. If one of the beat reporters doesn't get it early and leak it to me, I'll let you know. That said, we know that there's talent there. So it's not a surprise to me. He's been running low and the corners have been doing their thing. With Juju kind of emerging in my mind, it's a great thing that someone has emerged. If no one had really stepped up to say, hey, I'm going to have this kind of connection with Mahomes, I would be a little bit nervous at this point, to tell you the truth. I think MVS has done that some. Juju looks a little more solid to me in that connection with Mahomes, which is all important. But in the end, it's about gameplay. And Andy even said something about that. We'll talk about the running backs here in a little bit. It's a lot. It's a lot to learn the offense, a lot to get with Patrick. That's not it. I really like what they're doing with McCole at this point by letting him just run the Wildcat, kind of use his skills, go off a little bit. It's going to be, I think, a wrinkle that you can build on. So it's not just now, but by doing it in training camp, it's making the Arizona Cardinals watch it. And quite frankly, more importantly, it's making the Los Angeles Chargers watch it because they have a week 2 matchup. And 1 week of game film is great, but they're going to watch all the preseason. They're going to understand what's going on in camp because we're all reporting it, if not the reporters. And that helps it grow and really take up the time of prep for that week, for the Chargers in week 2. That's something that's going to help the Chiefs. It's for real. It's a legitimate thing that will make them waste time on it. So it's definitely interesting to me. I'm glad, Liz. That was a faux pas on my part, Liz, but I'm glad you confirm it. Thank you. Let's see. I just want to make sure I get all the super chatters. I'm getting all of you guys now. You guys, I'm not going to answer all the questions tonight because this isn't the Q&A. That's tomorrow night at 6. So make sure you get subbed if you're not. Make sure you join the memberships if you want into the fantasy. Aaron is also going to be doing his series, continuing it along the lines. You're going to see, I believe it's Chris this week. And then Mike and Sweden's come down the line where Aaron gets with one of the members, brings them into the fold, and they have a discussion. You'll see that in the members' videos. So get prepared for that. The memberships are really cool because it's not algorithm derived. Like, part of the reason we run the channel the way that I run it is because the algorithm likes it. If we get too off, if we get too salty and stuff, the algorithm doesn't show it to as many people. And we're still trying to grow this channel. If you know us, you know we're trying to grow bigger. Grow Rogue Nation. And so Mary Lowe and Curly are certainly helping that. But they also get a little frank on the membership side, and that's what it's for. That's the purpose of it, so that you're not tied to what the algorithm wants in the forward-facing, the public-facing stuff. So the big thing for me is that Juju's not enough. You got to continue with the McColl things. I heard somebody compare Skyy Moore's usage to Deebo Samuel's usage. Way too early on that. The fact that they're trying him in some of these things is important, but it's way too early to even put those two names together, because all that does is put pressure on Skyy, and that's never good for a young player. You want to keep them pretty clean, pretty refreshed, keep them ready to evolve on their own speed, not trying to live up to the shadow or the memory or the production of a current player now, especially when it's Deebo Samuel. I mean, come on, that's just tough. We're going to get over to some of your comments and questions here. We'll do that for a bit. And remember, the breakdown show isn't super long, folks. This will be post-game, usually about 15 minutes. So if you're walking out of the stadium at a home game and you get to the car, or maybe you're halfway down the tunnel or the ramp, you should be able to pop this on your phone and hear me going live and telling you what I saw that maybe you missed while you were live or something like that. I try not to wait too long, because what we end up getting is some of the beat reporters, mostly Matt Jarek, but some of the other guys will come on with us for the Locked On Chiefs show a little bit later. So I try to get that for you, like instant kind of deal. I do have an announcement. Unfortunately, until a couple days ago, I was going to make it to camp tomorrow. It is not going to happen at this point. One of my kids is under COVID watch because a bunch of her teammates came down with it, and I've been exposed, and we're trying to keep it contained and not expose a bunch of other people. So I'm not going to be making it to St. Joe. First time in 8 years, I will not make camp this season. So I'm going to rely on you guys to give me information. Tell me what you see. Let me know what the little details are that you're making it out. That makes a big difference. Wild Piglet, I've been seeing positive news on Isaiah Pacheco. Does he have an RB2 spot locked up? No, he does not. He is not RB2. He won't be RB2. In fact, what they did today, and this is what I liked, and I was kind of hinting at in the beginning, they're shifting practice. Like, they're shifting practice to more game-like situations. That a 14-play drive that Andy put together to make the guys game time situation ready. Now that we'll talk about penalties and stuff and like that in a minute, but I have it here. Was it from Herbie? Tiopi? No, it's from Matt. It's from Matt Derrick, who you can see with us always over on Wednesdays on Locked On Chiefs. He said that this is exactly the way that it went today, and this is exactly the way I expect it to end. Clyde number 1, then Rojo, then McKinnon, then Pacheco, and Gore bringing up the rear with then the two guys, Ely and the last dude that are practice squad material kind of guys. So no, Pacheco I don't think is going to be RB2. He may be 3. Depending on the injury thing. McKinnon's always a little bit, at his age, you want to hold him back. You want to keep him light. I think Pacheco has a chance to earn himself into the second spot by the end of the season, depending on how he makes use of the touches that he gets. But the key thing is he's going to give him a spark in the return game. He's going to set the offense up. He might be able to set them, 10, 12, 15 yards in better field position at starting their drives every time. And that's worth it. That is 100% worth having him on the roster to do his thing. I'm excited for him Do you think Pacheco's going to get a lot of work the first preseason game with the 1s and 2s? I hope so, because the first preseason game and the second are places where you want to give him some of that, because that tells you what he's capable of right now. That's like the max, right? If you get blocking from the 1s and they let you loose, that tells them what you can do. And then when you see guys either have a bad day or deal with some injuries with Rojo, and then McKinnon, if you're trying to save him, then you bump him up to 3. And then if Rojo has a thing, you bump him up to 2. And that's kind of how that works. But you got to get that game time feel for what he can do. And I think that will be really important for him too. Doug, and you did mention it. Mike Burton was at the podium today, you guys. Go back and watch that. I haven't seen it yet, but I know Mike and I know what he's talking about. Micah, what's up? Thoughts on Kareem Hunt requesting a trade? What teams would be interested? There's a number that will be interested, and they should be. A good back that can fit into nearly any offense. I still like him better as a one-cut zone kind of guy, but clearly he can run behind power. He's developed that. He wasn't that great with it when he was here. They didn't do it very often, but he was much more a zone guy then. I still think that's his natural ability. But number one is catching the ball at the backfield. He's still a great receiver. So look at teams that have some holes there. Is Alvin Kamara going to get suspended for a length of time? It's probably another thing that I should talk about on NFL 33. We'll probably do that this week as well. If Kamara were to get suspended, I know some people think it's going to slip into next year, but Saints are definitely a team that I think want to support their quarterback, whose name just escaped me. I had it 5 minutes ago, and I can see it. Jameis. You want to support him with the run game. So I could see that the Saints being interested. Any number of teams to have what he is now as the number 2 behind Chubb, like the 1-2 punch. It's certainly worth it. I think there will be a number of them. I just don't think it'll be Kansas City. Is the hype on Pacheco real or not? It's real in that he looks much better than you could expect from a 7th-round rookie. It's not real in that people think that he's pushing Clyde and Rojo for their spots. He's not. Andy was very specific today. He's like, yeah, the kid runs hard. We like what we see. We can work with him. He said that like 3 times in referring to Pacheco. Good thing about Pacheco is he's ahead of any of these backs where they were as a rookie in terms of his pass blocking. That's how you get on the field as a rookie. So that sets him up to have the opportunity. But when Andy was like, we give him a little bit of look and he's doing a nice job in the return game. That says, I'll interpret for you. That says Andy's happy with his return ability. They're going to look at him there, and he'll be in case of emergency kind of guy in the backfield. And that's fine. As a rookie, that's awesome. As a sophomore, I expect it'll be much different, but we'll see how he kind of peppers in through the season. He could be the spice that adds the flavor there, especially down the end run to the postseason, maybe in the postseason as well. Baker's not listed on the website. Just check. Thank you for that, Cole. That's really interesting to me. So maybe it has happened. And again, I'm not saying it hasn't. I just like to wait a little bit until it's confirmed with somebody who really knows. Brandon, thank you. Appreciate the support, buddy. It's up to you. I got a couple more. I got to ping here and make sure that I don't lose the super chats. Thank you guys for that. Very much appreciate the support. Let's see. Grabbing these. Bear with me just a minute. Super chatters, you will get answered tonight, I guarantee you. And I have a backup way to make sure that I get everyone as well. I'm going to start that right now. Okay, good. Yes. So I think I have everybody. Oh, Miss Holly, I had 2 from you. Okay. And they're both there. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you very much. Is Justin Reid our backup kicker now? I saw something about that. I didn't see the actual action, but hey, I'm happy to have one. I don't think Buck Kicker's going to miss anything. I'll tell you that. And I know people are going to start talking about extra points. It's going to be fine. It's not going to be a problem. I hope that his settling down as he matures as well will even that out, and we won't have to worry about it. Thank you, Dustin. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate you. Super sticker. I like the stickers. Mike Vick at practice along with Mitch Schwartz. It was awesome to see them both. I agree. I didn't know that they were out there. That's great. I know Mike did an internship, coaching internship for Andy, 2 seasons ago? Something like that. So nice to see that. And I know everybody wanted Mitch back. I don't blame you guys at all. I think he's going to miss the game as much as we're going to miss seeing him on this roster. But But I got to think that there's big things in Mitch's future. I will watch his cooking show religiously. So, Mitch, if you see this, let's get to going on Mitch in the kitchen there, buddy. Akaroga, man, you got to clarify that for me, man. I need phonetic gringo type out so I say stuff right. What is the point at this point? Who would you predict is our kick return and punt return this season? I think Pacheco should be the kick returner. I've seen multiple clips of everybody else. I like Skyy as a punt returner. I do like it. I think it's a risk to expose him on those kicks, though, because you want him for the offense. He's coming along and he's clicking a lot faster in terms of learning the offense. And he's what's providing the heat that I should have talked about before when we were talking about Juju. Juju is great, but the expectation is Juju's done things like this before. It's Skyy that's pushing everything and boiling it up over because now you have MVS and Juju and Hardman, and now Sky's raising the floor. It's not the ceiling that he's raising. He's not all pro, but he's raising the floor of the potential that you can get out from game in, game out because he's a comparable four and he's ready to go. And I think that's great. I also think that they want to look at McDuffie. I think there's some options there. If Ely were to make it, I would say that, but I really like the concept of Pacheco taking the returns and like making that his thing. I think that helped Nile get as far as Nile did, and I know there's going to be all kinds of comparisons to Jamal Charles. I feel that Pacheco's more like Nile than he is like Charles. There's nobody like Charles, but we'll see it when we see it, and I think you're going to see him early and often because they got to lock that down. If they're going to let a rookie take those over, they're going to give him all the chances to do it. He's going to get those kicks starting next week, and that's going to be something to see. We're going to keep a close eye on that one. Cole, do you think that Watson has a chance to make the roster? I do right now. I know I talked yesterday. I did my recap, and then a video of Gordon scoring a nice touchdown came out. That was, I believe, if I saw it right, I think that was on Najee Johnson, the rookie. So you got to take that with a grain of salt, and one play isn't the end. I think Watson right now, because of his special teams play, is likely ahead of Jeff Gordon. I don't think Jordan's on there. So right now, Darius came back. Looks like his finger was okay. Not fractured, at least. I'm sure it isn't, 100%. But so 5 and 6 to me right now look like Darius Fountain and Justin Watson. We'll see what happens. Is Calvin Ridley a possible cheap signing next year with the possibility of losing Juju and or McColl next season? I mean, maybe it'll have to be a challenge. I mean, how does Ridley deal with not being in an environment? Will he keep himself? Will he maintain his speed? Will he maintain his work ethic? Like, will he be as good a player as he was when he got suspended? That's going to be the question. I mean, if he is, sure, why not? Take a chance on him. He played some great snaps for Matt Ryan. I think I have faith in him to do that. You can't put the cart before the horse. You got to see it before you try to pull the trigger on something like that. So we're just going to have to see about where he is when he is. What positions have legit competition right now? Good question, Brian. That is absolutely true. Right tackle, yes, there's a competition, but it's Wiley's. I want Kennard to push for it, but right now it's Wiley's. It is not. It's not really that close, as I understand from people that have an inkling of what the Chiefs are thinking. I will say this, though. Kennard is whooping Josh Kando's butt out there consistently is what I understand. And that's a good sign because Kando's got that year leap on him, having gone against NFL competition. I think that's a positive sign for Kennard. So that means that he's closer to Wiley. Even though he's not getting many reps with the ones, he's closer to Wiley than it appears by the snap counts. And that's something important. Third corner, definitely a competition. Fourth safety, definitely a competition. Today, it was Deion Bush out there in the fourth safety role. And they did roll a four safety dime today, which is a look that Spags doesn't go to that often, but he does use it. And it was Brian Cook as the 3. As I've told you guys since the day he was drafted, Brian Cook will be the third safety on this roster. And if Juan Thornhill has an all-pro season, Juan will be back. If he has a subpar season, Juan will be gone, and Brian Cook will be your starter next year. But it is Deion Bush that was in the 4 spot today. Zane Anderson was there 3-4 practices ago when pads first came up. They have 4 padded practices here out of the next 3 days. 3 padded practices out of the next 4 days is what I understand before the game. So there's a lot that's going to change there. Wide receiver 5 and 6 are definitely open to competition. Linebacker 5 is definitely open to competition, as is defensive tackle. I don't know. I can't get a read on how that's going outside of Derek Nottie and Chris Jones. Who's where? Stallworth missed a practice. I thought he was out there today, but I don't have that confirmed yet. If you guys were there today, let me know, because that's going to become a factor for him. Any interest in trading for Kareem? I felt like the bridge is pretty burnt. I agree with you. I can understand the interest. Quite frankly, if Pacheco is consistent at catching the ball and specifically over his shoulder catching it like Kareem did when you attack the middle feed between the hashes, there's no reason for Kareem Hunt. But I don't think it's an option anyway. I think the bridge is pretty burnt. I don't think the administration, either Clark Hunt or Brett Veach or Andy Reid, trust to bring him back. Now, if that changes, if he has a heart-to-heart and he convince them that everything's good and he's past his troubles or anything like that, or he can repair that bridge, then sure. I mean, because there's no question about what he does on the field. It's just, do they trust him? Do they want him around? That's kind of the big question. Fan, I appreciate that. Would you guys hit the thumbs up right now? Just click it real quick, just so we can get it in there. We're approaching the half-hour mark, and that's kind of the limit for the breakdown shows. So I just want to get that in before we're out of here. Let's see. What does the cut of Baker mean for the CB room? Caleb, it means that he wasn't competing any longer. If he is gone officially, then it doesn't really mean a whole lot. It means that both the rookies were above him, including Jalen Watson, who started this camp as a practice squad potential guy. Now they're giving him some reps with the ones. It's even more miraculous than Josh Williams and L'Jarius Sneed before him, both fourth round guys. For Jalen played at Wazoo, and I was one of the few people that had a draftable grade on him. I had him as a day 3 guy. He got taken super late, but he's physical, he's long, and I felt like he had a lot of upside. So did Rob Rang, my colleague from Locked On NFL Draft. If you guys have read Rob Rang over the years, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, Draft Scout Inc., like, Rob's watched more corners than I have in my entire life. Like, he's done that, and he's a scout for the BC Lions now. Good dude. And he had Jalen Watson as draftable asset as well. So I really like that. It also means that DiCaprio Bootle had beaten DeAndre Baker out. My guess is the bulk of DeAndre Baker's failure to progress is due to his injury. That is a systemic, like a gargantuan injury that he sustained when he snapped the head off of his femur. I just don't know if a career can recover from that at all. And so I don't blame DeAndre. It's a tough break, and it's sad to see his career go that way, but it means that the rookies were outplaying him as well as Bootle. Longmorn, thanks for the support. Appreciate you, buddy. Just so you know, I have 6 bottles of Balcones, and I got through their webpage. It's cheaper if they can ship to Colorado. If they can't, ship to Missouri and go get a friend. I like that. I like that plan a lot. Missouri's good about that stuff. Colorado, not so much. There's a lot of distillers here that don't want anybody shipping anything in, so I think that lobby money's working. I'll be going to week 2 game against the Charger with my sister, brother-in-law, and my niece. You guys are going to have a lot of fun, Cole. And I would love to see anything footage-wise that you shoot with your phone you might want to drop for me, and I'll include it in some things. And that goes for anybody. You go to a game and you see something cool, or you got a perspective from the stands, shoot it to me. Let me know. Hit social media on Twitter specifically, because I don't always check all the others. That's the way to get a hold of me. Holly said, okay, changed my mind. I realized I might not be able to make the Q&A tomorrow evening, but I will be at training camp Tuesday. Any recommendations on what to focus on? A lot of those positions that we talked about in terms of their conflict, right? Watch, they're doing 9s on 7s where you get some pass rush deals. They're doing 1-on-1s where you get some pass rush deals. 1-on-1s with the wide receivers and the corners is really more of an advantage for the wide receivers, but you can still watch it. The thing that I would do, my favorite thing to do when it's any kind of question on the defensive line, is go watch the sled work first thing in the morning. It's like the second period that they do. It's down in the corner by the opening to the bleachers. Go check that out and see what you think, Miss Holly. Because the guys that are coming off the ball the best, I would look at Karlaftis. I would look at the D tackles. Carlos and Frank are going to show you what it should be. So will Chris. but you want to see who else is coming off the ball like that with that kind of explosive power. There's one drill in particular where they kneel, and so it's all hip extension. You don't get that kind of running start at the sled. Watch that a lot, because hip extension is where defensive tackles in particular get their power, because they've got their butts up in the air. And so that posterior chain, the glutes, hamstrings, that's what pulls them and makes that explosive power. They can get up into somebody's pads. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. Who's coming off the ball on that sled? Thank you for the support as well. Oh, and another one. I know this isn't the Q&A, so no question, but I wanted to show my cert. Thank you, Miss Holly. Very much appreciated. And I'm sorry you won't make it tomorrow night, but that is all right. I know that you will be back, and we'll have your questions answered when you're there. Let's see. Chiefs in the clutch. Ryan, how are you? And who is the one player that will have a surprise breakout? Ooh, I like that. I'm doing well. Thank you. No symptoms in my house, even though my daughter got exposed pretty good. So a lot going on there. But surprise breakout. Not a breakout, but a surprise breakout. I think Jody is almost an expected thing, but I do think Jody will break out. I'm not worried about the squad. I think he'll be back and he'll be fine. Last couple days have indicated that, unlike last year where Noah Gray was great without pads on and then contact came and he disappeared, Noah's been coming up pretty good the last couple of days. It feels like they have a tight end 3 possibility that could take over, that can play some significant snaps. So I'll say Noah Gray right now tonight. And by breakout, I mean that he's not going to have 13 catches for 28 yards or whatever he had last year. Like, he's going to do something to help the offense. That's what I'm considering. Can 4 tight end, 6 wide receiver, 5 running backs, including Mike, make the team? Yeah, that's 15 guys, 9 linemen, that's 24, 2 quarterbacks, that's 26. That's what they do a lot of years. They go back and forth. It's usually like 26 offense, 24 defense, and 3 specialists. Sometimes they go 25-25, but they do generally lean a little bit more towards the offense in terms of the raw numbers that they keep. So yes, that is doable. The offensive line is going to be kind of pertinent there. They can get that done. 15. Did I do my math right? 15, 24, 26. Yeah. The question is, you got a lot of young depth on the defensive side. Can you get away with that? Who do you have to cut on the defense in order to make that happen? That's the big question. I tend to think that that's a little too much. I think it's 6 wide receivers no matter what. It could be 4 running backs. It could be 3 tight ends. Any mixture of those allows you to keep more of your young talent that isn't quite ready to start, isn't quite ready to be in the top, 2 deep on the defensive side, and not lose talent that you're going to count on in years coming at you. So that's going to be I think the real rub for Brett Veach and Andy Reid this year is how to cut it down correctly. So you can get some guys at practice squad and not get them poached. That's going to be the challenge. Stevie's here, you guys. So is Gooch. So is Aaron. So all of Back Talk Bros is here, as well as Rogue Head Huddle guys. They have more coming for you. Aaron has that series. Don't forget that as well. And you want to check out and sub to their channel, as well as Big Chief Sean's. If Fountain and Watson look like 5 and 6 right now, where's Powell? Is he in the top 8 or top 10? As I understand, he's running good routes. He's become more of a willing blocker in the run game. And I think Coleman's ahead of him. And I'm not sure if Jennings was or not, but he's got more reps today, as I understand, with Jennings in the concussion protocol. So I would say he's right in there, 8, 9, 10 somewhere. Like, I don't know exactly because I didn't see – we don't get snap counts. And I'm not seeing him come off the thing there. But I think probably the 8 is probably the top. That would be with only Coleman ahead of him. 9's probably a little bit more likely, is my thought, Stevie. And let me know what you guys think. Ryan, thank you. Surprised by the big cut, former first round that could have something return via trade. I don't think so. It only means good things for the youth. It does. I do think it comes back to that injury. I don't think anybody's going to give you anything in trade. That's, like I said, it's a pretty devastating, gargantuan injury, and I don't think anybody was really going to give much for him, especially because it's just so much to overcome. Let me kick this find love in your city user out of here. Okay. See ya. We don't need any of that. We have a city. City's in the title even. It's Kansas City. I know you don't care there, whoever you were. See you later. Yeah, so I just don't think anybody would be willing to give anything for him is my thought, right? Gooch, hey, it's no stream without Gooch. Welcome back, Mr. Gooch. If you guys missed it, you members have a Rogue Life episode up that went up a few days ago. Gooch, I enjoyed that. I like what you guys are doing. You just got to join the memberships, get in there, the rookie level and above. You can see all the guys in our extra content. You can see Dan's rants. You can see me. I am known to drop a cuss word in the members videos. If you want some frank discussion, that's where you can get it. I'm not going to do that out here because YouTube doesn't like it when you do that, and they make less people see me and us. Don't worry, Holly. I'll make it tomorrow. Gooch will be here tomorrow. Y'all heard it. It's like a promise. He's going to be here tomorrow for the Q&A. The Q&A is at 6, folks. 6 Central. An hour was worth, usually an hour plus. We'll see how it goes, of answering your questions that you put into our chat. Joe, thank you for your support as well. I appreciate you. That looks like it is it for tonight, folks. Last one, civil unrest. Thank you. Prediction for Frank's a little tough right now. I like the way he looks. He looks springy. He looks more explosive, more like we saw coming out of Seattle. The question is longevity. Can he maintain that? Does the lower weight get him beat up a little bit more? I don't think so, but it is always the concern. So there's going to be a little bit until we kind of realize that. Like week 6-ish, I'll have a better idea of like, can he sustain how he looks right now? Terry, will we see the starters Saturday against the Bears? You should. I don't know if they'll get a whole quarter, but you'll see the starters. And Mahomes might make an early exit just to get him out of the way. I think that's fine. But hey, it is what it is. That's it for tonight. I'm going to go do the Locked On Chiefs show. Make sure you sign up for that. It's a podcast for you guys that haven't seen it yet. I think Matt's actually going to join me again tonight. So we have a bonus Matt Derrick episode fresh from camp. Lot going on there. Check out Aaron over at Back Talk Bros, BAK. You want to check that out? Brian Aaron Keys. Is that how that works? I thought so. Hey, hope you guys had a good night. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I'll be back with you tomorrow night. And any little clips that I find that are useful or anything breaks, you'll hear from us. Have a good one.